Hello, Christian Academy. Dr. Shell here, and we are today going to be talking about better together, but maybe not always. And so I want us to think a little bit about what it means to sort of do things together and how that sort of can build on each other for good, but it could also result in more bad things because we're doing it together. And I want to read a little story from the Bible. This is after the flood. Remember Noah and the flood? And after they were out of the ark and God blessed them with the rainbow, and then he tells them this. This is Genesis 9, chapter 1. God blessed Noah and his sons, and he said to them, "Be fertile, multiply, and fill the whole earth." So after Noah and his family survived the flood, and then God turned them loose and said, "Go out there and have children and get married, and I want you to spread out and fill the whole earth." Well, we learned a little bit later that they didn't do that. What they did was they stayed all together. And they became more and more and more people, but they all stayed together and didn't spread out and fill the whole earth the way God wanted them to. This is now chapter 11 of the book of Genesis. All people on the earth had one language and the same words. And they traveled east, and they found a valley in the land of Shinar, and they settled there. And they said to each other, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them hard." And they used those bricks for stones and asphalt for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build for ourselves a city and a tower with its top up to the heavens. And let us name it for ourselves, that we won't be dispersed, we won't be spread out over all the earth." Now, did you catch that one phrase in there I think is really important? They said this to each other. And they said, "Let us." That means us together, right? You hear everybody say, "Hey, let's go play basketball." And that means all of us, let us all go play basketball. These people decided together to disobey the God. It wasn't just one person sinning. It wasn't just one person being disobedient. They actually got together and they said, "Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we all do this?" Now, they knew God said to spread out over all the earth, but they didn't want to do that. They wanted to stay in one place. They wanted to build a big tower and a big city, and they wanted to be proud and say, "Look what we have done." What they had done was disobey God, but they did it together. So maybe they weren't so good together. Maybe better together only works if you're actually doing good things together. Okay, now I want to talk to you about a little. Well, let's jump over here to the book of Galatians. No, let's go to Thessalonians. In the book of Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, the Apostle Paul is writing to the church, and he says, "Let us continue encouraging each other, building each other up, just like you're doing right now." So let us, Paul says, keep building each other up. Okay, so together, we could get together and do things that were bad, or we could get together and do things that are good. We could build each other up. And then I really like this passage in the book of Galatians. In Galatians chapter 5, is that right? Galatians chapter 6, verse 2. I knew something wasn't right. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 2. Listen to this. "Carry each other's burdens so that you will fulfill the law of God." Carry each other's burdens so you will fulfill the law of Christ. So, in Genesis, we saw people getting together to do things that they shouldn't do. And in Galatians and Thessalonians, Paul is saying, hey, we need to build each other up. We need to actually hold each other's burdens. Now, I have a funny little Lego build I want to show you. So I'm going to stop this. I'm going to show you my little Lego build, and then we're going to come back. All right, boys and girls. We're down here in my Lego lab, and I saw this on the internet, and I was so intrigued by it. I thought, I gotta figure out, I gotta make one of those. So this is 2 different Lego builds being held up by chains, and there's no trick here. I mean, there's no magnets, and they're not. There's no secret wires, but somehow these 2 things are being held up just by chains. Now, like, chains don't work that way. So here I've got 2 Legos, and I put the chain, and if I let go of this end, it falls apart. Like, what's going on here? So these chains, if I let go, they fall. But how come these chains somehow don't fall? And sometimes people call this a floating Lego. I've seen chairs and tables like this. So the way this works is that on this side here, gravity is trying to pull this side down. But when it does, the chain on that side is holding it in place. Now, this side over here wants to fall down, but the chain on this side is keeping it from falling the other way. So, as crazy as it seems, the 2 different builds are actually being held together by chains, and they are counterbalancing each other, even though it doesn't seem like they should. If you move them just a tiny bit, they fall apart. But when they are just in the right spot, they balance each other, and they hold each other up on both sides. And so I want to think about this in terms of better together. That we can actually, when we have good friends, good Christian friends, that we can actually help balance each other out. Sometimes you might be thinking of doing something bad or about to lose your temper, and your good friend can come in and kind of help you stay calm and stay balanced. Other times, maybe one of you has a good idea of something you could do, but you're not saying, I don't think I could do it by myself. Well, if you have a good Christian friend, a good church family, then you guys can work together to do something that seems like it shouldn't even be possible. So, isn't that interesting? I just think that's so fascinating. That somehow the tension on those chains actually help them stay in balance and sort of stay the way they want to be together. And so I want us to be like this. I want us to be like these Lego models with these chains. And we need to hold each other up. And when people are having a hard day and they almost might go down, oh, we can help and we can hold them up. Or if somebody has a really bad idea, you hear people saying, you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to do something behind our parents' back. Or I know they wouldn't like us to watch this movie, but I'll go to your house and we can watch it and they won't know. Right? We hear things that people are coming up with ideas and we think, oh, that's a bad idea. I don't think we should do that. We have to be accountable to each other. And sometimes we might need to hold people back from doing things that we know are wrong, or somebody's losing their temper and they're about to really do something or say something that they're going to be sorry for. And we as their friends can help hold them back and keep them in balance. And there might be other times that we have a good idea, but we don't know if we can do it by ourselves. And we need other people to come along and they can add their strength and their ideas and their creativity to it so that together we can do better. So together we can hold each other back and keep each other in balance. And together we can be more productive when there's good things that we can do. Bear each other's burdens and hold each other up. All right, so I want you to be like this crazy Lego build. And I'm not sure exactly how it works, but that's the way good friends are. They keep each other in balance. They encourage each other for good things. And they hold each other back when they might get into something that they shouldn't do. So, all right, God bless you. And I'll see you in chapel next week.
Look at them stars.